Welcome, 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 everyone. I am your host, Dr. Rosalind Willis, better known as Coach Roz, the Birthing Purpose Coach. I remind everyone that I can that as long as you got a pulse, you got a purpose. You have something in this world that only you and you alone can do. So I want to say this beautiful day, everyone that is listening by the sound of my voice, you have a purpose. You matter. You're valuable. So come on in, travel with me through the internet, right? To the beautiful country of South Africa. Everyone, you have a purpose. I say it again. You have a purpose. Now, welcome to Coach Roz TV, the Keeping It Real with Coach Roz coming off mute broadcast. This is an international show. It is a global platform. We are partnering with International Internship University at IIU, where I am the United States representative for IIU. I want to thank Sir Piyush Pandit, which is the visionary, for allowing me to be able to be on this platform. So we bring to you a new segment called The Heart of a Humanitarian. Now, Sir Pandit is an amazing servant leader and a humanitarian himself. So the Heart of a Humanitarian Change Agents of the World, as the name suggests, this series will feature remarkable individuals who have dedicated their lives to making a positive impact in the realm of humanitarianism. So again, today we're going to travel to the beautiful country of South Africa, where you will meet the amazing, and y'all, I mean amazing, Lois Wagner, a true friend for forgiveness and freedom. She is dedicated to guiding individuals from being victims to survivors and beyond, transforming their lives after facing life or business challenges and adversities. Lois's journey of resilience and growth is truly inspiring. She has faced and triumphed over various hardships, including losing a business, going bankrupt, surviving a brutal attack, and even forced into retirement. Her life experiences have become the foundation of her powerful work, centered around forgiveness and moving forward to a more rewarding life. With her unique PLLFAM coach model, Lois empowers people to rise after making mistakes, facing failures, or feeling frustrated. Through Pick Yourself Up, Laugh at Your Misadventure. Learn from your mistake, forgive yourself and others, take action, and move on to greater opportunities. She helps individuals find their feet and embrace their growth. Now, Lois's book, Walking Without Skin, that title alone just captures you. I'm just saying. A Journey of Healing from Fear to Forgiveness to Freedom is an inspiring memoir and self-help guide, encapsulating her incredible journey of healing. Her TEDx talk on the topic further reflects her passion for making a positive impact. Now, guys, I'm telling you, if you do not have your pen and notepad, you need to get it right now, because I'm telling you, she's going to drop some gems. As you know, as I just got through going through some of the introduction for this amazing humanitarian, I want to applaud her right now for all the wonderful things that she's doing in our world to make it a better place. So, Miss Lois, welcome to the stage. And please, please, please tell us in your own words, who is Lois Wagner?
Wow. Well, thanks so much, Dr. Roz. I think you've said it all. I don't know what else to say. I always just say I'm Lois, your friend for forgiveness, and come smile with me. I'm a speaker, a storyteller, a motivational speaker, inspirer, a learning facilitator, and an empowering coach. So everyone says I always smile despite all the hardships I've faced.
Wow, that's amazing. What is your definition of a humanitarian, Miss Lois?
It's just somebody who cares deeply about helping people who are in need and making the world a better and a kinder place for everybody. It's about alleviating suffering and improving the quality of life for everybody.
Yes. And tell us, so what is your passion?
Storytelling. I love telling stories. I've lived a very interesting and adventurous life, and I've got so many stories, and I love sharing stories, especially those that teach and empower other people to help. And I get so excited when I see people, when the light bulb goes on, and I see them getting it and helping them realize their dreams.
Yes, that's the most amazing feeling in the world, is when you see that light bulb go off, when they go from a place of going, and they go, it's the wonderful feeling of that. So I can relate to that. Now, if you had a time capsule and you could go back in time and give a message to your 10-year-old self, what would it be?
Forgive yourself for the mistakes you made, for the decisions you made that you thought were the wrong decisions. The decisions you make with the best knowledge at that time, so it's the right decision. So you need to forgive yourself if it leads you into a different direction than what you intended. So to forgive yourself and to forgive others for all the infractions and all the hurts that you may experience.
Yes, that's powerful. Tell us how you became a humanitarian.
Yeah, all right. Well, it started some years ago, some 25 or so years ago, when I was working late in my little courtyard. I had a digital printing business in the early days of digital print, and I was working late on my own in a secure, what I thought was a secure little courtyard behind an 8-foot wall. And a stranger scaled that wall, and I didn't hear him, I didn't see him. And the first I was aware that he was there, he had his hand around my throat and he was holding a screwdriver to my neck. And we always talk about the fight, flight, and freeze syndrome. Well, I fought. I fought with everything I had. He stabbed me numerous times. I managed to stab him back with the screwdriver a couple of times, but he stabbed me in my face, in my ear, in my mouth. It was very gruesome. And at one point he grabbed a glass off the table. He smashed it and he came at me to my stomach, and he started cutting my stomach and my chest. And that's when I thought, I'm going to die. And so I thought, I've got to stop fighting. It's now time to freeze. And so he pushed me into a corner and he raped me. He then tied me up. I was bleeding profusely, and he tied me up and left. He stole my car and he left. I had the sense when he broke the glass to grab a piece of the glass and hold it in my hands, and I managed to cut myself free. If I hadn't cut myself free, I would have bled to death that night. Anyway, I called the police and they apprehended him within 10 minutes. There was a shootout. My car had bullet wounds in it. And I was rushed off to hospital. So that very night, I think that is when it all started, because as you can understand, I was angry. Remember, this happened in the days long before the word rape was spoken about. People didn't use the word. The Me Too movement hadn't been invented yet. And so it was something that was said in hushed whispers and nobody spoke about it. And the fact that this happened to me, it was just, whoa, this is so wrong. And so that night I decided I was going to write a journal, which I would get published to share with the world what happened, that this does happen to everyday people like me. And when I recovered, I became an activist and I started leading marches and lobbying and petitioning and protesting. And I became very public, again, which shocked a lot of people because nobody was speaking about the topic. We had one woman a year before me who had been brutally attacked by two Satanists. And she had gone public, but not out of her choice. She was just front page news because it was such a terrible crime. So I was like the first person who voluntarily went out and started sharing my story and becoming this activist. At the time when South Africa was going through a change from apartheid, they were looking for new ideas for the constitution. So I was determined to make changes to the constitution. The person who raped me was out on bail for rape, and I wanted to change the world and I wanted to change the law. So it started that night. So yes, that's how it happened.
That is, it's amazing, your story and how you fought. And just, I'm so grateful to God that you're here with us to tell the story, to be that change agent. And, here on the platform, keeping it real with Coach Roz, coming off mute, that is what it's about, unmuting and telling your story, the raw, the true, the ugly, because the truth of the matter is people are learning, every day someone is being raped or beaten or, attacked. And you're right, a lot of women don't come forth and they don't tell their story. And so we know that you've inspired a lot of women that I'm pretty sure, with the marches and whoever's heard your story, they're coming forth. And I commend you for being that beacon of light. I truly do believe that our worst pain can birth our biggest purpose, and that's what it sounds like has happened with you. You went through something tremendous. It was, horrible, but it's birthed something, beautiful, because your story is changing lives. Your story is reaching the masses. And that's what it's all about. And that has birthed a humanitarian, a servant leader, someone that has a voice that is saying, hold up, I have something to say. I've been through some things and I overcame. So again, I commend you for that. Now, you talked a little bit about, going and journaling after. What inspired you? Is this what inspired you to write the book? And that title, Walking Without Skin, A Journey of Healing. That title, what gave you that title?
What does the title mean to you, Dr. Coach?
Oh my goodness. When I think about without skin, I think about, animals get skinned before they're getting, cooked, or, like I love to fish and we like to eat fish. And so my dad, when we would go fishing, he would scale the fish after, you know what I'm saying? Take all of the fish skin off, so to speak. So when I think about without skin, uncovered, open, and you're walking without it, with no protection, you're wide open. That's what I think about when I see that. So many things go in my head, but yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. It's because the skin protects you, and when you don't have that protection, so it's about being vulnerable, being exposed, and sharing the story. So yeah. So
Wow.
yes, it started off as a journal. I kept a daily journal of my emotions, and I think that's what makes it quite powerful, because people don't talk about the emotions, and I talk about the emotions. But after a while, it became a diary and it became quite boring. And so it sat around for years and years and years and years because I couldn't find an ending for it. And when I finally did find an ending 14 years later, I was living a good life, and the book wasn't that important at that time in my life. And so it took me 25 years to birth the book.
Wow. And you said the word right there, 25 years to birth the book, because it is a process and it's inside of you and it has to be birthed out. pushed out. And, I think about, I always say I'm a spiritual midwife that helps people birth their book. And when you think about going through labor pains, right? You go through that pain, and that pain is there to push the baby through the canal. It's the same with the book. That pain is there to push you through the canal. Sometimes when you're writing, there's a healing that comes from the writing. As you are writing, you're going back through everything that you went through. You know what I'm saying? And you're putting it pen to paper, and there's a process, and that process is so necessary, because when it's all said and done, you have your baby, your finished product that you can hold in your hand. So I love that. It took you 25 years to birth it, and now you have. And look at how amazing your baby has grown, produced other babies, whether it be a TED Talk, whatever, the platform has brought forth through this baby. That's amazing.
But
What
more,
makes you,
but,
okay, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
more importantly than a journal, it's now become part journal and part self-help guide, because over the years I've realized how important it is to heal, and the journey of healing, and what it takes to heal. So it's got a lot of tips and advice on what you can do to overcome the trauma.
Wow. And that's a wonderful tool, because you're not just giving, like you said, it's not just something that you can read, but you're getting tools to help, people that have been through what you've went through, and that may go through, sometimes it could be a warning for someone, to be, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but it's a wonderful tool. That is amazing. What makes you a agent of change?
Just the vision that I have and the passion that I have, coupled together with my resilience and my grit to make a difference, to stop this scourge, this pandemic of gender-based violence. And gender-based violence works both ways. We always say it's man on woman, but it's also woman on man. And it is a pandemic, and we've got to change it. We've got to make a difference. It's not right. Why do people hurt people? And we need to do what we can to make a difference.
Wow. And you are doing that. You are doing exactly that. We have so many youth that are experiencing, a lot of hurt, trauma, for so many reasons. Being it that they have absent parents in the home. Some of them, unfortunately, are in the home with their abuser. Young girls, their fathers are abusing them. Young boys, their mothers are abusing them. I mean, I've heard so many stories in my 51 years of life that are very traumatic. And what is your message to the youth?
Be brave. And my be brave, I've got an acronym using the word brave. We've got to stop the bullying at the schools. We've got to stop the pain that people are causing other people. And so my brave project is where you've got to know how to set boundaries. You've got to know what respect is and how to respect each other. You've got to be able to take action. You've got to be vulnerable. You've got to have a voice. And you need to empower yourself and others. So yeah, it's a program aimed at the youth, although it works for anybody, male, female, of any age. If we learn to be brave, we can definitely make a difference. And it starts with the youth. Let's stop this bullying. And it's out of control, whether it's cyberbullying, verbal bullying, physical bullying. It really is out of control. And I want people to be brave, and then also to learn to forgive.
Yes. When you say to be brave, I was reading, I think, one of your acronyms of brave. Could you break that down for us, the brave?
All right, so it's about having the boundaries, setting the boundaries. It's so important that we know what those boundaries are, what our own boundaries are, and that we know the boundaries of the people around us, and to be able to share those boundaries, to be able to be open and have balance in our life, as well as not be a bystander. If you see somebody bullying, don't be a bystander, go and do something about it. And then the R is respect, having respect for each person. Everybody's different. Everybody's got different cultural and religious and whatever backgrounds. Respect them. You don't have to like it, but respect it. Show resilience. Get yourself back on the road. Be a role model and take responsibility in your relationships, and be reliable. And then the A is about authenticity. It's about being alert, being aware of what's going on around you. And then the big A is to ask. Never assume that people want sex or they want whatever. Ask, get that agreement. And the V, as I said, is your vulnerability. It's about having a voice, being verbal, communicating, and knowing what your values are and living by those values. And then finally, E is the equality, that everybody should be treated equally, regardless of their backgrounds. Have empathy. We can learn empathy, and then empower, to empower each other.
That is amazing. I love that. Brave. Yes, that is powerful. Tell us, Miss Lois, what is your message to the entire world?
It's exactly the same message. Be brave. If we've got a brave new world, it's a bit of a cliche. If we've got a brave new world and everybody honors those values, we can start making a difference, and we can start seeing people having respect for each other, and just forgiving. If people understand that forgiving is not about condoning what the other person has done, it's about setting yourself free from the emotions of that event. The event or situation, whatever it is, it happened. You cannot change what happened. So you need to break yourself from the hurt that you are feeling through that. It took me 14 years, but I went to the prison. The rapist had been given a 25-year prison sentence, and I went to the prison and I forgave the rapist in the prison. And I must tell you, I didn't walk out of that prison at the end. I literally flew out of that prison filled with peace and freedom.
Wow. Wow. And that took your power back. You know what I'm saying? That took back your power. And I mean, that is amazing. Just even hearing that part right there, all of it is amazing, but that to be able to go back in the face of the person that hurt you and say, you know what, I forgive you. I don't think people realize how much power we give to other people when we don't forgive, and how literally, it keeps us bound when we allow them to, keep us in bondage, but the minute you're able to release, you're not just releasing them, but you're releasing yourself, and you're getting back your voice, you're getting back your power. And I mean, you are an amazing woman. I mean, just the things that to go through on that level and turn all of that pain into passion, all of that pain into purpose, all of that pain into power, to push through, to be, the wind beneath other women's wings, to say, you know what? I know it was ugly. I know it hurt. I know that was the hardest thing you ever had to go through. But guess what? You can keep going. It's amazing. It's amazing. I got chill bumps. It's amazing. And so tell us, what is next for Miss Lois Wagner? What do you have, some things coming forward? I mean, what's next?
Well, I want to share this vision, this dream of mine, this brave new world to a wider audience, to a wider world audience. It's a good message that people should, if everyone, as I said, can be brave. So I really want to get to a wider world audience, and write another book. You spoke about my PLLFAM model. It's about the smaller things as well. How do you face, how do you find your feet after failure, whatever that failure is? How do you pick yourself up and move on? So I want to talk about that, because I've picked myself up many times after many failures. So I want to get another book out there. And as I said, I want a wider world audience.
Wow. I believe that that's going to be amazing. I know it's going to be an amazing thing for you to do. And I know your audience is getting bigger and bigger, because your message is it's empowering, it's powerful, it's inspiring, and it's changing lives. I know one of the things that I read, she embodies the essence of smile. I love that the speaker and storyteller, as an accomplished author and TEDx speaker, mentor, because we do the S, now we're mentor, the M, mentor, providing invaluable guidance and support. The I, the inspire, sparking motivation and positive change. I think that's my favorite one, because it's inspire, but it's sparking motivation and positive change. I love that. And then L, learning, facilitator, empowering individuals through workshops and group interactions. And then E, empowering, coach and consultant, a certified conversational intelligence. And then C, IQ coach. Lois is a remarkable South African businesswoman with extensive and local international expertise in speaking, human resources training, business management, project management, marketing, consultant, and leadership coaching. I love the way your smile, in your smile, it all comes together, and it's like a big, beautiful bow. You're being presented in such a way that people can understand the fullness of who you are and what you bring to our big and beautiful world. So I thank you so much for being the first fruit, okay, of our new segment, The Heart of a Humanitarian. You have truly shown the heart of a humanitarian. You have truly shown that, we can be servant leaders, and no matter what we've been through, we can be beacons of light, beacons of hope, and we can come off mute and tell our story to the world. So again, I commend you, and I thank you for being our first guest for the kickoff of our new show. Thank you so much for being with us on today.
Thank you, Coach Roz. And I would like to invite everybody out there to learn to forgive and to fly free.
That is beautiful. You have a blessed and amazing day. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. Again, thank you, Sir PLLFAM. Thank you so much, Sister Nada and Inga, for being here as a support. Thank you for everyone that's listening by the sound of my voice. Remember, as long as you got a pulse, you got a purpose. Until next time, everyone have a blessed and amazing day. Thank you again, my love.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.